America, a comparison of societies built on justice and freedom. America is widely recognized as a global symbol of success and freedom. While it faces its share of flaws and contradictions, the foundational ideals embedded in its system, such as liberty, equality, and justice, bear a remarkable resemblance to the model society established by Prophet Muhammad in Medina. From his migration to the city in 622 CE until the later years of the rightly guided first four caliphs, the Madani society was shaped by core values: belief in one God, human equality, and accountability to a higher moral standard. These values remain relevant today and, surprisingly, can be seen reflected in many aspects of the American democratic structure, often more so than in some modern Muslim majority countries. Three foundational values in Medina. Prophet Muhammad spent the early years of his mission in Mecca preaching three fundamental messages: belief in the oneness of God, equality among all human beings, and the reality of life after death as a moral reckoning. These beliefs challenged the entrenched tribal hierarchies, idol worship, and systemic injustices of the time, leading to severe opposition and persecution. However, upon his migration to Medina, the Prophet was able to lay the foundation of a functioning society that translated these spiritual principles into practical governance. Medina, under the Prophet, became a model for civic life, where individuals of different faiths, ethnicities, and backgrounds coexisted under mutual agreements, legal protections, and shared responsibilities. Religious freedom was respected, public welfare was a priority, and justice was accessible to all. These values defined the Madani state and formed a blueprint for ethical leadership. Modern Muslim states, a spectrum of systems. In contrast, modern Muslim majority countries exhibit a range of political systems, few of which fully reflect the Madani model. Tribal governance. In regions such as some rural parts of Pakistan, centralized government authority is weak or non-existent. Tribes operate independently, often based on customary law rather than unified national systems. This resembles the fragmented tribal system of pre-Islamic Arabia more than the organized Madani state. Theocratic monarchies. Countries governed by royal families impose religious laws derived from one interpretation of Islam. While they claim religious legitimacy, the lack of public participation and imposed uniformity diverge from the inclusive and consultative model of Medina. Theocratic democracies. Some countries exemplify a system where democratic institutions exist but are ultimately overseen by a religious elite. This system restricts pluralism and freedom of belief, which were central to the Prophet's governance in Medina. Nominal democracies. Some countries, such as Pakistan, maintain democratic frameworks on paper, but suffer from deep-rooted corruption, sectarianism, and inequality. Despite possessing natural and intellectual resources, these states often fail to provide even basic services to their citizens. The American democratic system. While no system is without flaws, the American model comes closer than most in reflecting the ideals practiced in Medina. Its principles of religious freedom, equality before the law, and public accountability echo the Quranic and prophetic standards of governance. Freedom of belief. The Quran states, "There is no compulsion in religion." 2:5:6. In the United States, freedom of religion is constitutionally protected. Individuals are free to follow any religion or none without fear of state punishment or coercion. Mosques, churches, synagogues, temples, and secular communities coexist peacefully. This mirrors the Prophet's Charter of Medina, which guaranteed religious autonomy to Jewish, Christian, and pagan communities alike. Equality and justice. God says in the Quran, "O people, we created you from a single pair of male and female and made you into nations and tribes that you may know one another. Verily, the most honored of you in the sight of God is the most righteous." 49:13. In the American system, the law is meant to protect all citizens equally, regardless of race, religion, or background. Public education, legal aid, and welfare programs aim to provide fair opportunities and protect the vulnerable. Principles aligned with those implemented in Medina, where the Prophet partnered immigrants with locals, cared for the poor, and insisted on fair treatment across tribal lines. Accountability and civic duty. The Prophet emphasized financial ethics and public trust. Similarly, America's system relies on taxes and trade, regulated by law and subject to audits and public oversight. Institutions are designed to check abuse of power. The idea of holding leaders accountable, whether in courts, elections, or through media, is consistent with Islamic teachings of moral accountability, where even a caliph could be questioned in public. Limitations and reflections. To be clear, America has not fully realized these ideals. Structural racism, economic inequality, and political polarization remain pressing issues. However, the existence of constitutional rights, civil institutions, and an active civil society allows for ongoing reform. This capacity for self-correction and inclusive dialogue is one of the country's greatest strengths, and a quality that Islamic governance at its best has also demonstrated. Ironically, while Muslim societies hold the Prophet's legacy in the highest regard, many have drifted far from his political and social example. America, though secular, has managed to uphold many of the very values the Prophet fought to establish: dignity for every human being, freedom to worship, and a government accountable to the people. Americans understand that their freedom stands on two legs: equality and accountability. Remove as anyone will cripple the system, jeopardizing their freedom. In conclusion, the Prophet Muhammad established a society in Medina that honored God through justice, compassion, and collective responsibility. Though separated by time, culture, and religious identity, the American democratic system shares striking parallels with that vision. In today's global context, it serves as a reminder that values rooted in divine guidance, freedom, equality, and accountability are not only timeless, but universal. For Muslims and non-Muslims alike, studying the Prophet's model of society offers insights into how faith and governance can harmonize for the betterment of all.